Yeah, my little brother is in the house at the moment. He showed me his new vehicle that he has, his new toy car. I said, cooler than the bus. And he said, no, here's the bus. And I was like, okay. And not that he'll interrupt, but, just you never know when that child appears.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my gosh. I put my computer on Do Not Disturb. Why is it still ringing?
Somebody's got to fuck it up at one point or another. Am I right?
Oh, that's why. Because there's like 4 people that are allowed to access me while it's on Do Not Disturb, and one of them are texting me. Anyway, hopefully that's the end of that.
Okay.
Kailen, you almost done with your sushi?
I just dropped it on my lap.
She has sushi.
She got some makeshift sushi that she's making in front of her, like homemade stuff. She explained it, but you were busy. It's this stuff that is like some rice and some other stuff, and she's making it herself with each bite.
To answer your question, yes. Is it really noisy?
Yeah, it's a little like you can hear the cling cling cling.
Cling, 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 cling.
Last week you were eating too, and I heard the cling cling, and I asked you if you were eating, but you didn't hear me, so you kept talking.
Oh, I did not hear you. I was
Yeah,
like,
and I
nobody noticed.
I heard Mariah ask you that, and you just didn't answer. And Mariah and I were like,
I didn't hear that. I literally thought I got away with it. I was like, nobody heard me eating. I can.
we're both we're like, hey, did you eat something? And you're like,
It's okay. It's okay.
I only have like a few more bites. 1 second. I ate the last of the seaweed, so now I just gotta scoop it up. I'll unplug it for that.
Just gotta scoop it up.
Actually, I won't. You guys can deal with the cling cling.
I forgot to buy Kinsey's Squishmallow, so I have to go back and get it. Kaylee is putting it in the bag for me.
oh my goodness.
Listen, let me tell you what happened. I went to work today, Kinsey, and they put all the Squishmallows that people have been hiding on the shelf, but mine was hidden good. Only one person knew where it was hidden. And I'm walking, and I see it on the shelf. I said, who the hell touched my shit?
I tried to get y'all on it.
I snatched it. I said, I'm buying that today because I was rude.
I tried to remind Kinsey.
No, it's not Kinsey's fault. She called me. I just couldn't remember the phone call conversation.
Yeah. Candace, Longy, why don't you shut up, Shorty?
Shorty.
That was scrumptious.
Perfect.
Very good. Let me do something real quick.
Bro, you know, one thing I don't like.
Now I have a table. I can like prop this little stand up right in front of my face.
Dang. Well, I'm gonna pee real quick before we actually start, I guess. But you guys can keep talking because we're recording.
Wait.
What?
In the podcast bin, I found a pretzel.
Okay.
Now you may go.
You act like all 3 of us don't eat the pretzels. I'll take the blame for it.
Yeah, but that was before I started eating pretzels. Back when we recorded in the studio. No. I started eating pretzels after that.
No, you were always in charge of the bin. Actually, that's a lie.
That is a lie.
Actually, no, you were in charge of the bin because I'd be like, Kailen, grab the mics while I set up the computers.
I might have eaten like the pretzels like one of the last sessions, but like, fuck you. You know, Mariah's ass be taking her long fingers and digging into, the pretzel bag and munching on them on the podcast. She's like, munch, Mariah munch.
Yeah.
What are you looking at in your fucking room?
Nothing.
Kailen, kiss my butt, please.
I have a question for each of you.
Hold on.
Would you rather
through Mariah, Kailen, and I as little stackies, and Mariah's a penguin, Kaylen's a bear, and I'm a hedgehog.
Snail? I don't want you to be the grass.
I'm a hedgehog.
That's a grass.
That's a hedgehog.
Kailen, what is your would you rather question?
Hedgehog. What do you think the word hedge means?
Can you tell me your would you rather? I can't speak. Your would you rather question?
Yes, I was gonna ask a would you rather question. All
Which is?
Would you rather somebody talk shit about you, like you're in their mouth, or would you rather just be completely forgotten and nobody even acknowledges your existence?
Oh, well, when people talk crap about me, it fires me up.
Oh, so you're not fired up when there's like, Mariah's not interesting enough to talk about.
Oh, I can give 2 crap what people think about me.
But then how are you going to be famous?
Well, I mean, if there's people talking crap about me, at least I got people in my corner talking good about me. What do you mean?
So you're picking you'd rather people talk crap about you.
You're asking me if I'd rather people talk crap about me or someone not talk about me or no one talk about me at all, right?
Pretty much, but like she's not interesting.
Can you reword the question? I don't know if I'm just stupid.
So either people are talking shit on you, you're in their mouths, right? And you're right, that maybe there's a good half to that some people talk good. But you're like, let's say you're out here trying to like, get famous and trying to get noticed, but like they're like, we're not gonna even talk about Mariah because she's not even interesting enough to talk about.
Oh, well, my haters make me stronger, so.
So you're picking talking shit.
Yeah, my whole family talks crap. What do you mean?
All right. Kinsey?
It fires me up.
I was looking at Mariah's. Show me that again.
That's good. That's good.
Fires me up.
That's crying out there. What about me? What's my question?
Oh, you have the same question.
I said it. What about you, Kinsey?
Oh, would I deal with? Would I want people to never talk about me again, or only talk shit about me?
No, not only.
Would you rather your name just going around in general in people's mouths, or would you rather nobody finds you interesting, so nobody's going to talk about you ever?
I'll
let them talk. Rising.
I need them to talk shit because, like, how else am I going to get people to buy things from my store?
Yeah, you're like, how else am I going to get famous?
Just because they're talking crap doesn't mean they're not buying stuff from our store still.
That's true. There's so many people that follow Dylan Mulvaney still, and I'm like, why y'all follow her? You hate her so much.
Mm-hmm.
You see how good she looks blonde?
I know.
I heard it's because she's an Aquarius, and Aquarius placements are really good about that.
She's an Aquarius?
What?
I think she has an Aquarius placement somewhere. I don't know exactly where.
Oh, because I'm the one that told you that Aquariuses look good with dyed hair.
Maybe I heard it from Kinsey.
I think she did.
Y'all, I got long gray hairs now, and I'm just like, I'm not looking forward to the in-between stage. I just want to be like platinum right away, like platinum, gray, silver.
You could do it. People do that when they start getting gray.
No, I don't want to damage it, so it's like got to happen naturally. Mm-hmm. Like at this point, I want it to just be virgin and come on naturally because it's already so dry and brittle because it's lost all of its color.
Well, my mom just got her hair re-dyed, and they said that she had no grays. So my mom said that I should be thankful.
I'll milk her hair and put it in mine.
My mom said I should be thankful that I have good genetics from her. And I said, Mom, I don't think the genetics are coming from your side of the family. But
like there are only like a few white genetics that are like good, and I don't think she's got them.
Well, Kinsey, they say Asian don't raisin.
Well, she ain't got gray hair, and she's like 47, so.
Well, maybe she's got a few good things. No gray hair, that's good.
Yeah, but like I was getting that genetic regardless.
Like I look at my mom and dad's genetic line. I'm like, yeah, I got the good genetics from my mom's side, for sure.
That's funny.
My dad gave me fucked up teeth until I got braces.
You have pretty teeth.
Now, that's braces, my guy.
Braces. But the teeth, they look good.
Yeah, now, but braces made them look.
Here's the thing: even if my teeth were straight, I got like two small teeth that like I look like I have buck teeth with completely straight teeth.
I will say the shape of my teeth are from my dad too, and those are really good.
They are really nice shape. Like, why the fuck are the two outside of my little buck teeth? Why are they shorter? Why? Was I meant to be a vampire and they fell out of my like past life, like out of my mouth? You guys ever have dreams about your teeth falling out? I have.
As a vampire.
Kailen, bring us in.
You're listening to Post-Credit Depression. Wait, I brought us in last week. Kinsey, bring us in.
Kailen, is your microphone setting on the right one?
Let me Yep.
Okay.
It's on the butt cheek.
And you're holding it the right way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, sometimes like your audio just is going in and out, but it's okay. I'm going to try to figure it out when we're done.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, when Kinsey's done drawing you as a vampire, she'll bring us in if you're that offended about bringing us in twice.
Well, I mean, I'll do it.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for Kinsey's drawing.
Oh my God.
You're listening to Post-Credit Depression, where we talk about our hyperfixations of the week. My name's Kinsey, and I'm drawing Kailen as a vampire today.
That's hot. Thank you.
That's my fun fact.
What a blessing. It's, the birthday month before my birthday month. So
my name's Mariah. Since Kailen's just mumbling. And my fun fact is my 5-year-old brother may or may not make an appearance during this episode.
Keep the mic to your mouth.
I can see my audio levels.
Yeah, but I heard you go out when you looked away to look at your ball.
Kailen,
My name is Kailen, and I love drinking tea. I think I'm the only tea drinker in our group.
that's a lie. I've been drinking tea my whole life.
What kind of tea?
Oh, I like green tea, black tea, peach tea.
Hi, green tea, black tea, peach tree.
When I was really young, I wanted to drink coffee with my grandma and I wasn't allowed to. So I would make her cup of coffee and then I'd make myself tea and I would put like cream and sugar in it anyway, even though you're not supposed to.
I like black.
Thank you.
I like the green tea from Panera because it tastes like juice. You know?
Seems fitting.
Dicks.
What?
What?
Who allowed her in the podcast?
I don't know.
Dicks.
Yo, I took my earrings out to clean them and I'm feeling naked. Look at that. Ain't no hoop in sight over here.
Ain't no hoop
Look what I'm
inside.
wearing, dog.
Those are super cute. Who got them for you?
Some girl that calls me every day. I'm kidding.
Some non-binary person.
Yeah, actually just some person. And you're not allowed to know what they're like because they're just a person.
Just a person.
Just
I'm
a
glad you
person.
like them. I remember being nervous if you'd like
Right,
them.
in a binary way, so you're not allowed to know what they're like.
Like, there's so much so of a person that you could just pick them up and put them in an aquarium and that would be your person.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No, nothing else special. They
That's
would
fine.
just exist in this glass wall.
Great attributes.
I know. Honestly, I'm very jealous that they're able to like float through life that way.
Just vibing.
Just vibing is what I'm saying.
You know what's funny?
What's up?
When I took that little quizzy quiz, you know, there's like the feminine side and the masculine side, and then there's like the negative where it's like you're not really binary either way, and then there's like the forward and it's like you're androgynous, so you have like both qualities. I am on the androgynous side, which means that like I have both, but I don't have no negative, which is weird to
Well,
me.
you should take that
Can't
quiz I
you-
sent you because I heard it was very accurate compared to the other one.
Oh yeah, I do.
Because the one that you're talking about talks really heavily on masculine and feminine traits alone, and not like a lot of like internal dialogue.
Which is why the test was fake, and I'm non-binary too.
Well, exactly. I mean, the test that I sent you had like the quote unquote 7 genders, aka like, you know, if you were a non-binary, cisgender, transgender, a bunch of breakdown. Didn't matter. I took that quiz, said exactly what I thought it was going to say, which was agender. I'm not surprised. That is not a vampire.
I got teeth right there.
Titty suck. I drew Kailen.
Coppa titty suck.
Yeah, I drew her naked.
Send a picture to Colin.
Hold on, I gotta put a blanket on her because she said she was letting them air out
I'm
earlier.
taking my vitamin D.
Anyway, I got agender, which I already identified as well enough, so I wasn't surprised. But if you guys should take it if you feel like it. Also, Kailen, I sent a test randomly yesterday. I was on the phone with Kinsey. Kailen made me take this like empathy test, and it said if you score less than like 30, that you're on the Asperger's scale of autism, and I scored a 21.
That's funny.
She has no empathy.
I have empathy. Maybe just not the type of empathy that neurotypicals have.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Hold on. Let me actually draw Kailen as a vampire.
Yeah, and then we can move on, goofball.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, it's been 15 minutes.
Wait, why don't you start talking? I can just bring it in at some
Oh,
point.
that's fine. Somebody has to ask me what I
I was
shared,
about
though.
to ask.
We just
I
wanted to
was
make sure
actually
you were
curious about it.
paying attention. That was all.
Mariah, what did you make us watch this week?
Make you watch. I'm kidding. This week I shared Love, Simon for our continued Pride Month. I watched Love, Simon in theaters when I was also closeted at my university with my straight normie friends. You know, I heard that the book was like 10 times better than the movie, but obviously we don't have time to read a book, so we watched the film. This is only my third time watching it, and surprisingly, you guys might be surprised by this. The first time I watched it, obviously I cried. The second time I watched it, obviously I cried. This time, I didn't cry. No sweat off my back.
But this time, actually on the third time, didn't cry. So I probably didn't cry during the other times either.
Just to take a note, based on the listeners knowing that I also cried during all the movies and shows we watch, I didn't cry this time.
Wow,
So
congrats, you star.
we can't make fun of Mariah because she didn't cry during it.
Heartless bitch.
Damn.
Heartless bitch doesn't even care about the gay community.
Damn.
Probably homophobic.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it definitely, it's one of those cute heartstring pullers.
Yeah, I think that the film itself was so important, like at least for the time. I think it came out in like 2017. I could be wrong. But I
2018.
mean,
It's like hardly an illegal marriage.
2018.
yeah, very much hardly into it, but it was like a nice like coming of age story. And you watch those come of age stories your whole life, so it's nice to see it in like a queer relationship. Obviously, it still fit the like tropiness of like a rom com or a coming for age, how things just kind of worked. But overall, I
Hmm.
think it's a good story.
Yeah, I also liked some of the family dynamics, like outside of the school drama, and like the fact that it's like this really cute, like, romantic, like cheesy little messaging to each other back and forth, like kind of story. The family dynamic, he was like so scared for so many different reasons, and like we can talk about it as it comes up. But I liked kind of how the film touched on those parts too, because like
Hmm.
maybe if a parent is watching it, they can maybe like learn to start watching their mouth, whether they know or not about their kids.
Yeah, they did such a good job really expressing that. I mean, obviously, when I first watched it, I was in the closet, so I was like, "Wow, these feelings, I'm feeling those currently. Like, this is wild."
Yeah.
Even just like, yeah, I love the way they dove right in. He's like, "Yeah, I've got a perfectly normal life. Like, I've got my mom and dad, my sister. I go to school, and like that whole mind space of thinking like
Hmm.
everything's normal except for one
Yeah.
thing."
I'm
I
gay
like
as hell.
we've been talking about this Pride Month as we've been exploring like our options for what we're going to be showing each other and all that stuff, and talking a lot on tropes. But the reason why I like this film, especially the fact, like you said, it was based in 2018, is it's a real story about not coming out of the closet. And I think that like a lot of tropier stories like make it about the story, but this story was like very unique with the whole like the blog website, whatever it is, like that was a unique twist to it. And then like kind of like I don't want to skip right to the end, but like kind of the full coming around, like everybody's really accepting about it, or like maybe it's not going to be easy every day, but like you got your friends and you have like a community at school that cares, you know what I mean? Even if there's
Yeah,
some dumb bullies, he's just like, you know what, I accept it.
Yeah,
there's
I wanted to
definitely.
mention. Fuck you. Actually, thank you.
I was letting you
I
go.
wanted. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I wanted to mention that we already said that his family was liberal and that was cool, but you could see how they still made mistakes, and they didn't do it intentionally. Like it's totally fine to make mistakes because both the parents were like, "I should have helped you more" when they like obviously found out about it. And I thought that was like a really cool way of like, I don't know, parents taking accountability when maybe there's something they could have done, even if they didn't know they should have done it. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it also bleeds into that whole real like reality of he was like, I just want to be normal and gay. Like, why does it have to be this thing where you guys treat me different or talk to me different? Like, there was nothing you really could do to help me.
Yeah, even his
Like,
dad saying the word fruity as if like gay has to have a look to it, or like
Or it's not the
we're gonna look at
normal.
you differently and we're gonna say the word fruity when we view you. That's like our perspective of you. And he's like, why can't I be normal and me and Simon?
yeah,
Yeah.
I will say, like, rewatching it now that I'm not in the closet, it was so crazy watching, like, the little parts, like you said, like, the dad saying comments or hearing their friends say things here and there. Like, and even just, like, how every little thing kind of set his mind off. Like, when someone would say something that was, like, slightly, like, gay, he'd be, like, kind of look at them funny. Or when they, like, when he saw the other gay kid at school, he was like, oh, shit. Like, it's, like, the little things in your mind that go through when you're trying to, like, hide this part of yourself that no one even knows about. So, like, what are you hiding
Mm-hmm.
at this point? But you could tell how
Yeah.
he was, like, on edge. You can
Sorry,
tell
they
that he
I
was
like the
just kind of.
fishnet. Nice touch.
Thank you, kids. You looked great.
sorry.
That like weird, like on edge feeling. I don't know if you guys could relate to that, but just like anytime someone makes a comment or an offhand comment that you're like, was that towards me? Do they know what's
Absolutely.
going on?
I think that the only way that you could not watch this movie and be a little bit stressed out for Simon is if you just could not relate to it. Like maybe you've never experienced being in the closet and just don't have an empathy for it. But like we've all been through middle school, high school. We've all cared about what other people think. And then like maybe it's harder for someone who's like really gay versus just like bi and like, you know what, I can hide this a little bit longer and pass and like just make it through these hard times when I could like literally get beat up over, my sexuality. But like it's a very real thing that a lot of teens go through. So it's like, I think it's that feeling you're talking about is a lot more relatable than you think. The only time I don't think it'd be relatable if it's a straight person watching it, like, this is a cute movie.
Yeah.
Something
And I
I
mean,
felt
even
really
just
bad for was that his like friends were kind of writing off how nervous he was or shy all the time. You know, like he was very clearly showing that he was stressed out or like a little jumpy from time to time, and they'd be like, you know, that's just Simon. Like,
that's just
wonder why.
Simon.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
that is a fucking panicked person. Like, what do you mean? You know,
I
I felt
understand that
bad.
they're high schoolers. I understand that they were even mad about the whole lying thing to begin with. But I think that when they should have been like, you were blackmailed. Like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah, what was that about? Why
Yeah,
didn't they
yeah.
like?
If we're fast forwarding, that's my biggest gripe with the film. I heard the book handles it a little different, but it's still like one of the biggest complaints like out there. How his friends were shitty.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, he lied, and now you guys know the truth, but like, he was literally being blackmailed, and like,
I think I'd off myself if I was Simon. If
yeah,
I
the
was
whole school.
blackmailed and then outed and then you guys just stopped talking to me, I'd be like, well, that's my whole life. So
That's like my
Yeah,
only.
well, that I mean, there is a high suicide rate among the
yeah,
LGBT youth, and um, I mean, seriously,
it is. It's true.
that's why for this movie, and I mean, I'll talk on it a lot more next week when we get to the women gay stuff I want to show, but you know even though homophobia is a part of this story, I don't take it as tropey as some of the other stories where it's just like, oh my god, it's wrong to be gay. We should kiss. Like, oh my god, this is so
Well,
taboo
I
and
mean, in this
hot.
film,
And
no one was like inherently homophobic, really. Like, I mean, they were obviously the bullies, but they weren't like
yeah.
attacking in a tropey way.
Yeah, and even if it's just a subtle way of showing it, like, because maybe they're like, we don't want to focus on that. We do want to focus on Simon and accepting himself. And obviously, Simon was sweating bullets, like, when, he was going throughout this whole movie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that, like, it's an important story to tell. So I'm like, you can be about a little bit about homophobia. Like, I get it. Like, it
Yeah, and
goes to
that's
show the
normal in
stakes
high
are higher.
school. High school bullies latch onto anything they can to make fun of you for.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that man's got Virgo placements. He was like literally like looking like he's gonna shit his pants the whole movie.
No Scorpio placements though, because what the fuck was that not logging out of your email? And why would you log onto the school computer when you have your damn phone?
That's what I was saying. The school computer too. You don't know what they got access
He
to.
was doing it on the school computer because he didn't want to get caught with having his phone. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, still,
Like,
I'd be
you
scared that
can't
like
be
the school's
patient.
tracking me. That still ain't a Scorpio move.
Like, it's been 12
I-
hours and the boy ain't messaged you back. Go read a book. Go do your homework, and you can check your inbox later.
yeah, I know. I
let's-
think that was real messy of him to do.
Let's take it back to the beginning, guys. Okay, so
Sorry, we can kind of fast forward.
no, I'm used to us
I
doing
think
that.
it
We
was
do it all the
important
time.
to just talk about like how he felt about it, and obviously kind of spans over the whole movie. Look at that ass.
I thought, oh my gosh, I thought how cute it was for him to immediately hop on after finding out there was someone else who was queer at his school that was like secretly queer like he was. He immediately was like, I'm emailing this person. I'm connecting with this person. At first I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, bro, chill. But then like as the more older person I am, like I understand like how important it was for him to be like, oh, there's someone in this community that I can talk to, even if it didn't end with like romance.
Someone like me.
Yeah, I think he originally did it so that he could have somebody to talk to, But yeah, Kaylen's right. Unlikely. I feel like if you're from a small town and there's not many gay people, like you're gonna have a little gay romance.
It's so funny because in high school you really don't see it, but you go on Facebook now and these bitches walking around with crosses around their neck and like acting super like normative, have like nose piercings now, and they're like crazy and going to Pride, and I'm like, as you should. Like, we were all fucking like shut tight in high school.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot more queer kids than like you might have even thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, think about how many people you're probably not in touch with anymore from high school that have found themselves since then.
Yeah, like even the people you didn't keep mutuals about.
I think like maybe 2-3 people from my high school know anything about me now, let alone if they know I'm queer.
Yep.
Yeah, because
So.
Mariah has secrets.
Yeah, because I'm a proper Scorpio.
There's something I want to say, and I mean, obviously, this shouldn't be a spoiler alert because you should have watched the movie by now, but I like that basically one of the first people he suspects is actually the guy. Because obviously he goes through like his different like, is it him? And it was the very first guy that like he suspected. That I thought it was cute how it came back around to that.
Did you guys guess who it was?
I did.
No.
I did.
Kailen,
Well,
no.
okay.
I did
No, I was
immediately too when I
I'm just
first
being
watched it.
honest.
It was only a hunch for me, to be honest, because from the like when he was like being all flirty, I was like, oh, it's him. But then he kissed that girl, and I was like, dude, he was drunk. Like, I can't for sure say if it was him or not. Like, so I was like, I think it could be him out of all of them, and I was right.
I mean, yeah, when you see how he's talking to other guys, I'm like, it ain't there. Whatever was going on
No,
before ain't there.
Yeah.
Ryan knows because remember, guys, she has a PhD
I thought it was Martin.
in Yuri, right?
I'm just
It's called
kidding.
Yuri.
Yeah, and Yowie,
Yeah,
Yuri's
whatever.
women.
Fuck.
I think
Did
the
you
first
enjoy
time I
my joke?
watched it, I was like fully convinced that it was Bam at the beginning, but then I wanted it to be the Waffle House guy. I was like, he's kind of cute.
The
Yeah, the
Waffle
Waffle
House.
House guy seemed more like I don't know,
But
dedicated to him. I don't
yeah,
know. I
and
was
then
like,
when he approached him at the football game, I was like, is this him?
is
I
this
wasn't
him?
convinced until he approached him at the football game. I was like, I might be wrong. It might not be him. Dang.
Kinsey,
Well,
did you like
Kaitlin,
my
who did
joke?
you think it was then?
Oh, my joke is that I thought it was Martin. I'm just kidding.
While we're talking about
There's that
Martin,
boy who is like,
I was gonna say something about Martin.
what was his name? He was like kind of the blonde Jesse McCarty looking motherfucker.
the friend,
No, here, what is his name? I will look it up.
the blonde one. Oh, the one from the musical.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
he was like, there was that moment that they were like getting like kind of close, but he seemed really reserved. And I'm like, you know what? The other boys, they try to make it seem really flirty. That I bet it's going to be the shy boy that just comes out of the woodworks. I don't know. Even though there wasn't a lot between them, I was just like, I bet that they'd pull that. Like he was so shy to interact with, Simon. Or I thought it was somebody who's never interacted with him before, which would have been kind of boring a little bit, but like just
That'd been cute.
completely out of the woodworks.
Little secret crushy crush. I think that could have been cute.
Like I actually, my number one guess is some background character who like you literally just walking by, and like when they do like the montage of all the clips he's ever been in the same scenes as him, but like he's never had any screen time before.
I must be addicted to anime or something because I thought the exact same thing. If it wasn't going to be, what's his name? Bam, the main guy.
I believe it's
I thought it was
Bram.
Bram.
Yeah. Bram, sorry.
Yeah. Whatever his name is, I was like, if it's not him, it's got to be a character I haven't even seen. Like I was thinking anime. I was thinking Aaron.
I've always been there. Like,
Yeah.
and it shows every clip he's been with a different boy, and like maybe in the background there's some boy just watching always.
Yeah. I think I
maybe
just
not watching because at that time he didn't know. Yeah, maybe not at that moment because they didn't know it was each other. So maybe he was at the Halloween party and we just passed by him. Maybe he was at the football game and we just passed by him. He was at the snack stand and he was always in the background. And then at the Ferris wheel, this random boy who had zero screen time just walks straight up and gets on with.
Yeah, I really thought that's what was going to happen too. I was convinced.
But it's nice to add a twist. I like the twist that they did choose. I was like, okay, you were just confused, making out with a girl, I guess.
That was my first guess too. So my first guess was correct.
What
did you just say?
Oh, I said that I loved the actor, but I was listening to Kinsey. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, I thought he was a cutie.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's queer in real life. I don't know if he's like bi or just gay or whatever, but I know that he's like an actual queer actor. So
honestly, I really don't feel comfortable with straight actors playing gay roles. I think it's very not cool.
That was a lot of hate from this film because Nate Robinson is straight. And when they casted him into it, he obviously got a lot of backlash for it. And he was saying how I think a lot of his family and close friends are queer. And when he got the opportunity, he was like, I want to be able to take this identity for my friends and really represent it well or whatever. But, obviously still a lot of backlash because I agree with you, Kinsey. I think now more than ever, we should have queer representation properly.
I'm just saying, you can't cast a white girl as a black girl. So why are we doing a straight guy to pretend to be, I think it should be taken seriously.
I did think the kiss in the car at the very end of the movie looked a little too quick. You know what I mean? I'm like, what kind of kiss was that?
I mean, I thought the same thing too. I'm not saying they need to fucking get naked or some shit, but I did think for all the tension that I was hoping to see that it'd be just a little bit more genuine, and maybe it wasn't genuine because the bitch is straight. Goddamn.
Yeah, it's possible, man. Kinsey, what were you saying about Martin?
Well,
What
wait.
were you saying about Martin?
Oh, it's so funny. I was literally about to like progress the plot and bring up Martin, so that's funny.
Yeah, let's go in because I hate that piece of crap.
Well, I want to go straight into the part I hated the most. Besides him,
Wait, he reminds me of someone we know. Someone who obviously is not socialized well enough, who is really weird, and is willing to backlash someone. Yep.
Well, what I was going to say about Martin is I'm going straight to the end. I
Mhm.
can't. I don't know if like they were trying to be like, oh, Martin made mistakes, and this is him like basically like trucing it out. No, you blackmailed this guy throughout the entire fucking movie, and then you think just a little ticket's going to solve it. You showed
Well, he
all
was
these
trying to get
personal ass emails on the internet that will never go away. Even if Simon eventually is like, okay, I don't care that people saw it, like still it will always be there. And I don't like how the movie, or if that happened in the books, I don't know how that was like resolved. I don't think it's resolvable. I think that fucking Martin needs to go find a new identity in a different city if he wants to ever find any like, happiness in his life, because I would have never forgave someone for doing that.
There's people who like, okay, I don't believe in bullying at all, but there's some weird kids that need to be bullied, and I think that Martin is one of them. I think that the obsessive behavior, like, can't get enough of Abby. Simon helped him several times, and it's like, at what point are you going to delete the blackmail and that she's just not interested in you? Simon can help you to the ends of the earth, but if this woman doesn't like marry you, are you going to still throw him under the bus? It's just like obsessive, weird, which like it's the weird kid that people stay away from in schools, if you know what I mean.
For
And
a fucking reason.
yeah, and I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I get like a visceral reaction with Martin like on the screen every time. Every time, I just get so mad because you're right, Kailen. Like, literally, deserve to be bullied. I hope in the book they do give a better resolution, because even in the movie, like, they don't like applaud him for what he did. Literally, he's like, "I'll buy you another ticket," and Simon says absolutely nothing because he's already mad. But like
You made a
that
fool of
scene,
yourself. Like he wants to blame it on Simon because he's like, "Well, go big or go home" or whatever it was, and that
yeah,
wasn't you. You interpreted that the way that you did. You made a fool of yourself, and to get the heat off of you, you put the heat onto Simon. After
literally,
he
that's what he
did find
said.
out.
He was like, there was everyone was staring at me, making fun of me at the homecoming game. So I thought I would just get the heat on you. And that whole scene makes me so mad. And he's like yelling. That scene when Simon's telling him like, you don't get to out me, you don't get to tell me, like, you took away something that's like really important to me. Every time I have a visceral reaction during that scene. That's when I first cried the first time I saw it.
Yeah, I mean,
I cried at the end of this fucking movie. I was so upset.
Yeah,
Just all of it cumulatively. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting hit back to back. Like,
I always cry
And
at
it's
that
like
part when he
wonderful.
yells at Martin, and I cry at the part with the dad at the end when the dad's like telling them how he feels bad.
Yeah, I liked that part. That's where I got very emotional as well. My older brother outed me as well, and like the thing is he said, if you don't do it, I'll do it, when it came to our dad. But then my aunt was making comments when she came up to visit, and she brought up like boys and girls and some sort of like, whoever you find, like, checking on my relationship status. And I was like, I know that man done told you. And it really pissed me off because I was like, that's for me to tell. And even if I chose to take it to my grave for certain people, that's still mine to choose. And then I remember I did really bad on a semester at school at our college, Kinsey, and I sent an email and I said how distraught I was because I was going through a lot. And I actually brought that up. And I know because our school really cares a lot about that, it helped a lot. And they're like, oh, we feel really bad. Here's this like, basically this like forgiveness, and we're not going to take away your scholarships. And I was like, damn right, yeah, I went through some shit. Give me that scholarship back.
they were like, shit, we said we supported the gays, so if we're gonna support the gays, then we gotta say okay.
Honestly, yeah, the fear of being outed is like so terrifying. Like, I'm sure for anyone, but like I remember just like hearing stories of friends I knew or people I knew had gotten outed, and I was like, it's gotta be like the worst thing in the absolute world, especially like when you don't come from a healthy family.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, my dad, like, I called him and I was like really like Simon level, like heaving, basically telling him, and he's like, "What's wrong? You're pregnant? Just tell me." Just my dad's so forward, and I was like, "I like boys and girls," and he was like, "That's it?" He's like, "I'm literally at the grocery store right now." Like, he's like, "You need anything?" And I was like, "Well, Corey said that if I didn't tell you, he was gonna tell you." He's like, "Why does your brother give a shit?"
Oh my gosh.
He's like, "What does that have to do with him?" And he
God.
just went about his day. He's like, "Yeah, I'm near Cleveland if you need me to bring you some milk." And I'm like, Okay, that's
Your dad lives
Kailen,
at.
can I come out to your dad?
I honestly think he knew, and it was probably because of the fact I couldn't eliminate my search history when I went down a whole Britney Spears
You didn't know how
phase.
to do that?
No. He just kept the laptop. He said, I think I'm gonna keep the laptop for a few days. He never brought it up to me. I was looking up
Dang, Kailen.
some 11-year-old boy stuff. I'm like, boobies. Boobies. What do boobies look like?
Girls
Sex-
kissing.
Sexy boobies.
Oh my gosh. The other scene that I really love and relate to, it's it's that funny scene where he's like talking about how he's not going to come out to a closet, out of the closet till he's in college. And I think it's so funny because like, I think that's a completely normal thing too. Everyone goes through that, and I remember thinking that same thing. That was funny.
Speaking of not ready to tell certain people.
Speaking of, anyway, I remember thinking that same thing. I was like, when I get into college, at first I didn't understand that. When I was high school Mariah, I was like, why? Why do people do that in college? That's so weird.
It's because people in college are paying adults who don't have the time to like go around and bully other adults who are paying to go to their classes.
Well, and it's like a
Whereas
fresh
at high
start.
school,
It's you get to reform who you are.
it's a fresh start, but like I would argue, unless it's just the straight up normal drama between friend groups and oh my god, she's sleeping with her ex and blah 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 blah. Like, you go into a classroom with 20 other adult strangers all paying the same teacher, like they don't care if you're openly gay. Like honestly, like what do you, unless it's just within your interpersonal friend group, like if there's any sort of jerks in there, like it's not the same mentality. They're all like, I'm literally paying to study here. Like I don't give a shit about running around the halls and bullying you because you have a pride pin. Versus in high school, like that would have been like shark meat, like some chum buckle.
Because in high school, it's like I mean, I know you guys didn't go to the same school your whole life, but I've been in the same school since I was 5. So like everyone who I knew has known me since I was 5 years old. So like for you to change your identity basically at junior year of high school, that's like you're like outcast immediately.
Yeah.
No, for
I'm
real.
really embarrassed because I think that because I was someone who was like heavily bullied and I was really introverted and shy, I actually overlooked a lot of like bullying moments, and it was like spread across of a lot of really wrong reasons. And it's something that like now that I've gone to college and I've really learned how to speak up for myself, I wish I could go back and just like start kind of snapping back or like standing up for people. But I literally like ran into a closet and shut myself in, and I never looked. I was the look away kind of person because I was just really scared.
Yo, I mean, I feel like young us all were. Like how much could you really say without being attacked yourself?
But I went to that Mississippi high school, so it was like so bad. Like teachers looked away, and that was like really wrong. Like I watched teachers look away.
Yeah. Did you like that scene in the movie when the principal all of a sudden had a little pride pin on his jacket after Simon got outed?
That man was like trying so hard to level with them. Do you know the fucking montage where they're all reading Simon's things and it's like flipping between like the friends and the different boys, and then it cuts to the teacher, and I'm like, what if he's blue?
What I want to know is like, why was he so invested in him? Like, I know he was all like, I see you, I see myself in you, but it's like, why was he so invested in this?
I think he was trying to be like the cool teacher with everyone, and we just happened to see how close he was with Simon. Like, I think he was like the cool principal that would walk up to anyone who was like, not socializing or something, trying to get to know them, trying to be the cool guy in the school,
He's trying to. Okay.
Which is like the worst people in the world.
Honestly, like 2 weeks later, they come out with a fucking accusation that they're like, having.
I'm sorry. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's kind of what I was thinking. So
that
I was
happened
like,
at my middle school. My assistant principal, he was so cool. He'd be like, Mariah, pizza party in my room in the office. And I'd be like, come to get my pizza. He would come up to me and talk to me in the hallway. We had regular conversations. 2 weeks later, or like a month later, he transferred to a different school. Immediately got arrested for talking to a minor on Facebook.
Oh.
I know. Cheyenne had like sent me the article, and I was like, I was having private pizza parties in his office.
Private pizza parties. Mariah, you might as well have done a little high school.
I know, but you guys know I was such a naive child. Like, I'm naive now. Imagine naive 13-year-old Mariah.
I'd be like, private pizza party.
I was like, I love pizza.
I have the funniest side tangent if you guys allow me to, or if not, we can continue on with the story. But no, I swear to God,
look at my baby.
Kinsey just doodling the whole time. Look at that pussy. It's literally a cat's face, by the way, everybody, that she drew over a woman.
Oh my gosh.
Like
If
my
your
baby.
side tangent is quick, Kailen, we can do your side tangent.
All right,
Maybe
my
like my
side
baby.
tangent. My dad, when I was like probably second grade, very young mindset, tried to warn me about strangers. He's like, even if they say puppies, and I'm like, they have puppies in their car, and I'm like, why would they lie about puppies? I was so sad. Guess what? I fast forward. I'm still in second grade, and my one friend and his weird like father or whatever, literally creepy ass looking father, like serial killer looking like man. He's like, you should come look at my husky in my car, and I don't know where the teachers were. This creepy old man and this little boy walk me away from the playground, and I go say hi to their actual husky. And I told my dad that recently. I was like, Dad, remember when you told me not to like talk to that weird creepy guy, and I would tell you about him after school, and you're like, you should not talk to strangers. Well, I walked up to his car and said hi to his husky, and you told me, you told me to, like, I'm 25 years old, telling my father the story, and he's just shaking his head. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, it was so hard with you. You're such a naive, trusting person.
He
Oh
said
my gosh.
you were one of the worst bitches to raise.
I was like, I need this story to come full circle. Now that I'm an adult, I can tell him this. It was always a secret. I was like, Dad, I went up to strangers' cars when they told me they had puppies anyways,
Oh my gosh.
and I was fine.
Anyway, I wanted to
Nobody
ask.
liked my baby.
It was cute.
Okay, thanks. All right, moving on.
What was it? Oh, the part when like whatever the heck her name's not Hannah because that's her name in 13 Reasons Why. What's this? Leah. When Leah is like
Leah.
so mad at Simon, I was shocked the first time I watched it that Leah was like, I had a crush on you, Simon. I was like, you couldn't tell, Leah? You couldn't tell he didn't like you
So,
after all this time?
But like,
not only that,
hear
but
me
when she
out,
was
man.
like,
I've
I'm
had
mad.
a crush on gay guys before, and then I found out they were gay, and I was like, oh.
But if you were
So,
best friends with them from the age of 5,
Okay, never mind. If I was best friends with them from the age of 5, I'd be like, oh, why? Yeah, I know you're gay, and I would have gotten over it, you know?
I did not like. It was very high school behavior for her to be like, I'm mad you told Abby first.
oh my
like,
god.
literally, like that's something that a high schooler would get mad at. Like, why didn't you tell us together? Then like, who gives a shit who he told first?
And like, you had a point. It's easier. I think I told some random person like intoxicated before I told Cheyenne.
I can't remember when I first started.
Yeah,
telling
because you
people.
never have to see the intoxicated. You never have to see that person again.
Well, it wasn't like
know?
a random person. It was just someone I wasn't as close with at the time. And it is easier.
Oh.
It's easier to know, like, if I lose this person, it's not going to be that dent on my life, to test the waters almost.
See, you're braver than I am. I would have told a rando.
I think I told Dejanay at a party once. That was the first one. And that's because she was already part of the community, so it felt easier to do.
I haven't really told any of my family. I've only insinuated, and I know it's because, like, if my family from my mom's side finds out, they're going to reach out to me like crazy. Like, I'm not kidding. They will. I'm even afraid that they would ask me to go to a family gathering and then, like, try to have an intervention or something because they've done
They
this.
like all put their hands on you and start speaking tongues and cult shit.
Haven't you heard of those stories of families finding out that their kid's gay or whatever they're doing? It doesn't matter if they're gay or not. Something they don't agree with, and they send them off. I mean, I'm a grown adult, right?
Yeah.
So they couldn't really do it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean
camps.
They could still send me to a camp, and people might not know where I am.
They could.
And if they don't,
They could do a lot of shit. There's like, I bet
There's
you
a
there's
lot.
some underground shit, some Handmaid's Tale shit. Where they
I mean, I've read
everything.
about it. I've literally read about people who have had that happen to them, and you don't have to just be a minor for that shit to happen.
All
to
they
you,
have to do is plead that
There's
you're like not
fucking-
sane.
There's fucking villages and communities in America where like minors getting married to old men are legal. They're like shut-in wall communities where like the outside world are not welcome to come in, and it's super duper religious. So who's to say that you wouldn't get kidnapped, sent to one of those fucking places, and they're like, oh, she went to go join, and they literally have a gun against your head, and they're like, you're gonna say this when they come and check on you, and you're like, God is everything,
It's like the celebrities. It's like Britney Spears. Like her parents just had like what's it called? They had own
the conservatorship,
something like that.
Something like that.
And so they like all you have to do is plead like insanity, and all of a sudden your parents have every right to your body.
I want to bring up like
I want to call all of us as babies.
Okay.
I want to bring up again the I already mentioned it earlier, but I really want to like delve deep on like before I was like the representation I want to see is just like normal queer main characters who are going on adventures, and it doesn't have to be some sort of like farmer's wife trope where, oh my god, it's not good to be gay and we're cheating on our husbands, but let's kiss. And there's like this thrill, this fetish, this like excitement kind of shit versus like with Love, Simon. I think that those are the stories exactly that can help like
Normalize
progress us further as a society, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to when I had said it came out in 2018, you were like, yeah, that just became legal. Like that really puts in perspective like how long it's been since marriage has been legalized, which to some people that's still not normal. They're just like, oh, it's legal doesn't mean it's normal. I mean,
And it
we're
felt like
we're
a
only like
story.
100 years removed from like slavery being like illegal, and look at how the backlash is, and we're not even 10 years from gay marriage being legal.
It felt like a story about like finding acceptance and love and, you know,
And I liked
familiar.
that more because it was more about acceptance and not just like,
Yeah,
oh, this weird thing, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't a tragedy that like was this fetishized taboo that we're committing. Um the even the familial support, like, which is a great example of a family that's just trying. We're not asking you to be perfect. We're just asking for love and respect,
yeah. I loved how the
even if you
mom
make
was like,
mistakes.
I didn't know, but I knew like something was off, but I didn't want to push. Like,
Yeah,
because
the
my family would be
accountability was
all up in
great.
my business.
That'd be like top or bottom.
Yeah, and
Definitely top.
I love.
Mariah said, I have
Kailen, I
anything.
can't with you. Ah, and I love how after like his little story, how it became like a good thing for the school to like have their little confessions. You know, it came full circle with like, even though I'm sure that's not like the worst Simon will face in his life, it was nice to see this nice little congratulation from the school, realizing how brave he was for what he did.
That ending with everyone confessing reminded me of Dear Evan Hansen a little bit when everybody was like, or Heather's, they're all like, let's all just say what's on our mind and heal, and like, you know, obviously the Heather's was not like a really good, you know, was
Yeah, I
suicidal.
think it was
It's not
cute.
good.
I don't know like how great the film is compared to the book. I think that it's such a great film for just like young children to watch in general, whether it's like you're a queer kid who's closeted or not. You know, I think it's such a great like. I think it's important now more than ever to like have these little communities and little accessibilities to little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was talking, I think, to Cheyenne the other day, like the importance of like just having a community full of like other queer people. Like it's not, it's like even though you have friends that are allies and like are like, you know, comfortable people you can talk to, it's never quite the same until you're talking to someone who's already in it. Like I know people complain like, "Oh, you guys talk about it so much." And it's like, "Well, yeah, you know, people like this spend how many years in the closet or not being able to speak about it. Now that you're
Yeah.
comfortable with this person, you're going to want to talk about it." Like that's like you
Well,
spent how much of your life hiding yourself?
like arguably too, it's like, you know, somebody who's jacked up on NASCAR and Mountain Dew, it's like, how much do you talk about that shit? How much do you talk about your sports? Like, Jesus Christ. Or, like, just, let's say you're a cis straight male and you're, like, running around bars talking about women, like, oh, I'm gonna get me a woman, look at that, and girl over
Yeah.
there, look at that ass. Like, oh my God. A queer person's like, oh my God, I can't wait to, like, meet people at, you know, this gay bar or whatever. And they're like, God, why make it your whole personality?
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important to have like other people who are queer like friends in your life. Like even though I'm like, yeah, other friends support me 100%. It's like when I'm talking to you guys specifically, it's like a whole different level of comfortableness when it comes to talking about whether it's like any experience or like relationship or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kinsey's
It's
face.
crazy because when I got to art school with Kinsey, and I think I was talking to my room at the time, so just like my three roommates, about him being very emotional because it was something that was always a part of me, but I never labeled it ever. And it didn't feel like coming out because I felt like I had come out a long time ago to myself, but I felt like, okay, am I actually going to walk around with this label on and come out? And that was what was emotional. So I started talking with that, like, hi, I'm bisexual, pansexual, you know, whichever I felt at more at the time throughout my career. And I had even experienced homophobia throughout our, like, you know, mingling with certain people. Like, there was people who was questioning mine and Kinsey's friendship over it. I mean, obviously that's even happened between you two now. And it's disgusting because it's like, I don't know, just the fact that some people didn't want me to be around Kinsey because they thought the worst.
It's so cute.
Kailen was in a deep ass conversation, and I was like,
Doodling a cute
right.
little
Yeah.
girl.
No, I
It was
mean you're not wrong, Kaylin. I mean, I remember before I was like out, I think that there's probably people in my life who knew before I was out. And I remember like having people and people be like, "Why are you and so and so like this? Like, why are you and your
Mhm.
friend like doing this? Or why are you guys so close?" And it's like, that's just my best friend. What are you talking about?
I know.
Yeah,
I like how they just assume that because you like, let's say if you were just a lesbian, like you like girls, you can't have any girls that are just your friend. Like literally,
Mhm.
don't you have guy friends that you find maybe attractive but you want nothing to do with?
Yeah, and I think that's a normal thing. So for like it to be like
Yeah.
such a hard thing, yeah. And you're right, Kaylin. I mean, I think you just being in that community where other people were already accepting of it makes it easier for you to say those words or to have that label. I mean, I have had only straight friends, which is why the first friend I came out to was already bi. It made it a lot easier for me to kind of not feel judged, I guess. But when I told my first straight friend, I remember literally crying, telling Cheyenne, I was like in their car and I was like, "Hey, um, I think I like girls and boys." And she was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Okay."
I love when they're just like, okay. In my instance, it was even beyond like just, and I've still gotten it like, oh, you two seem close, which like is kind of a minor form of homophobia, but I
Yeah.
experienced straight up like, Kinsey, I don't think you should hang out with Kaylin since she likes girls too. Little did they know, Kinsey likes girls too, and
Oh, that's
again,
even worse.
mm-hmm, they did. They thought it was weird that we would have like sleepovers and hang out, like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was like
but
one of my biggest things that kept me from not saying anything to any of my family growing up. Like I was like, I could totally like I remember I told you guys when I was like 13, my dad was like, "You got any boyfriends?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Any girlfriends?" Like I won't judge, I don't care. But like I think that's like an inherent thing that they've learned for through their dumb logic. Like if I would have told my dad at 13, "Yeah, I do," I never would have had sleepovers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they've
yeah,
been like, I don't care if it's a girl. I don't want them to have sex at all. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
mm-hmm, yeah. And like Kenzie said, it's quite normal for women who are only attracted to men to turn down men left and right and not even look their way and not be attracted or have male friends that like it's completely platonic to them. And it's just there's so many wackos in the world. It goes so deep and crazy and it's disgusting and I like seeing us like all step in the right direction because we have just the small little blip of time on earth and it's like mind your fucking business.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I loved that like bravery that like Simon was like when his sister was like, "You can deny it." He was like, "Why would I deny it? Like this is who I am." I'm like, "You better than me, Simon, because I would have denied it real quick."
Well, also she's something
Yeah.
for giving advice when she's like 9. So
Yeah, she's like, why don't you just not
Why don't you
stop
just
it?
say it's a lie? As if there's not literal
Mhm.
blackmail with proof right there.
It's like when
just
your
lie.
totally bi mom who doesn't know she's bi is like, I even thought girls were attractive when I was younger, and I was able to just like choose being with a man, and it's like, so you're bi,
Yeah.
so you're bi.
Yeah, and so I loved that. I loved that he was like, "No, this is who I am. I'm embracing it, and that's it." I was like, "Dang, good for you, dude." Because I couldn't even
Yeah.
say the word out loud till a couple years ago. Like
Hmm. Yeah,
I was
that's
just
why I really
vibing
like
2 years
charities.
ago.
I like charities that are there for. I'll have to look some up and like spit them off on the podcast before it's over.
I'll
That
post some,
support
dude.
LGBT teens that completely just get kicked to the curb because like they feel that pride. They're like, you know what? Why should I not hide any longer? Kind of like that Simon mentality. And
Mhm.
instead of them having a really cool family, they're homeless.
Yeah.
Bobby, God, Bobby, is his name Bobby Brown? Let me look it up real quick. The Queer Eye Man.
I mean, I think that's
Queer Eye
important to
Man.
note. Like he knew, like he said at the beginning of the film, like he knew that his family would be okay with it. He was like, "But why is it so hard to do it then? If I know my family's okay with it, my friends are okay with it, why can I not
Bobby
say it
Burt.
still?" And he
I
fully
don't know why I
acknowledged
said
that. He was
Bobby
like, "I was scared. It was all me, scared of the change."
hmm Bobby Burke from Queer Eye came out to his family. I don't know how young. I know it was like I think 18. It could have been even younger or older, somewhere around that age. But he got completely kicked out, disowned, and was homeless. And he like, barely made it to New York. And now he's like one of the most successful like interior designers out there, and like
Yeah.
really like world renowned. And he has like tons of religious trauma too. So it's like them people out there and you still can survive and you can still make it, but it's just like, I think having um those kinds of charities are super cool because some people like Simon are just like, you know what, I won't deny it. Like, no, and they might not have a really cool family.
Yeah. I mean, that's the truth 9 times out of 10. I mean, that is what happens. Not 9 times out of 10, but a majority
Hmm.
of the time, you know. even like there's like people who aren't even religious that still just disown their family because they're like, that's not normal. And it's like, you have no reason to believe that's not normal. Like, you don't have any other moral or belief besides you just being an ass.
Besides you just being a piece of shit.
I've literally questioned
Yeah.
Kailen. I don't remember who it was, someone we work with. I was like, they're not religious, but they hate gay people. I don't understand where the connection comes to.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's like they are not used to it. They think it's literally weird because they think the norm is to be straight, and it's like there shouldn't be one or the other, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk about this like biological design of how like man and woman can create life, which like the act of creating life is like what you're going to value in different genders when some people can't, procreate. And we're like very little chromosomes off from being a man or a woman when like we're in the womb. It's like we're developing very much the same, and then it's like a very last minute split that you're a man or a woman, and
Yeah, I
how
think
similar our
everyone is you're like a woman until like the last couple months.
And when you're a child, like our bodies are like pretty much the same till we hit puberty, one way or the other. And like you see people take like hormones if they're trans, and like it literally gender does not matter. So it's like,
because your body's like, shit, we changing it up. All right, it doesn't care.
Guys, we're not a lesser species on this planet. We're actually overpopulated. Like, can we stop, take a break from the kid making, and then at that point, what's it matter who you're with?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just dumb.
Yeah,
It's like,
so
I'm not going to put value into a human being just for the ability to procreate. Shut the fuck up.
yeah, and I'm glad that I was able to show this film to you guys. I remember asking Kailen if she watched it just because I had stumbled across like probably like an edit or a GIF or something from this film. And obviously, like I said, it's not like an amazing, great story or whatever, but for a coming of age story that focuses on a queer relationship, like for me being closeted watching the first time, it meant like so much. I was literally like sobbing in the theaters with my straight friends, like, yeah, that was such a great film.
So
Don't
good.
mind me. I cry during movies all the time. I'm
No,
not
I
related.
really did so good, bro. I really did.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I'm not in high school anymore, so when I watch those things, I try to watch it from a lens of like, would I really have needed it
Yeah.
in high school or in early college? And I really thought it was so cute. I really liked it. I think they had a lot of good things going on with it. Good choice, Mariah.
Yeah, it's like you can empathize with the weight that a high schooler who's in the closet would feel watching this film, and I can see exactly why it's really important.
Guys, why do I just randomly start being able to draw anime? Like, there's Kailen.
That is me.
I fucked up the body, so don't look at that.
You make me want to be blonde again in that picture.
No, your brown hair in this one.
All right.
But look, I fucked up
Those
the
are
anatomy
so
because I have
cute.
a pen. So don't roast me.
Mine
But
looks
this
like
is
Greg from
Kailen.
Over the Garden Wall.
This is Kayla when she's little and she goes and collects bugs. And
Mine's
this is
cute. You know
Mariah.
what's wild, Kinsey, is I have so many pictures of young Mariah dressed like that.
That's why I drew like that. Did you see the balls I put in your hair?
Yeah.
Click, 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 click. You
The
know,
little
like,
black girl balls.
yeah, the black girl balls. And then Kailen and I have. Well, I actually made myself look the worst out of all of these examples. I'll have to redraw myself.
You were warming up.
Yeah, these are good. Let me draw Ripley now.
Well, Mariah, are you gonna ask us if we'd share it, or are we?
Yeah, I was getting there. Kinsey was just showing us her art. Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. Or would you ever consider sharing this film with someone else?
Yes.
Yes. I'm just messing. Yeah, I would share this film even right now. As a whole ass adult at 24, I feel like I can be a little hard on high school movies now because I'm not in high school. So I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna be watching a movie that's set in high school, like, what can I take from it? And I feel like this one was so good and it had so many lessons in it, and I just liked the character a lot. I honestly was rooting for him so hard. I was like, that's why I was a little disappointed in the kiss at the end. I was like, I've seen better, but you know.
Yeah, I know there's a spin-off of the show, like a basically like another character. I don't know if it's from like the same like school or what, but there's a Hulu show called Love Victor, and I wanted to watch it. I haven't gotten around to watching. I don't know how good it is. Maybe I'll look into it. And then I know that the author of Love, Simon has another one about a girl. I don't know any context about it. I'm assuming it's also queer.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see that one and see how it pairs up with this movie.
Yeah, I'll send the book your guys' way.
I would if I ever threw a Pride slumber party, I would definitely be showing this as like a chick flick, but like, the Pride version.
Yeah, it gives like rom-com vibes.
It is a rom-com. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I really liked it, and the only roast I have is definitely the kiss. I'm like, see, you got me all. I was so excited, and I just wasn't vibing at the end.
Yeah, even the kiss on the Ferris wheel, I was like, that's it. But I mean, to be fair, he this isn't even his first kiss. He's had a kiss before.
So what? I want the chemistry.
That's what I'm saying. My argument would have been if it was his first kiss, I'd give it to him. But it wasn't his first kiss. So what's up with the Ferris wheel scene? Give me more.
Give me more.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, I love how the whole school showed up for the Ferris wheel scene. They were like waiting and rooting for him. How embarrassing it would have been if he didn't show up.
I would have been like, "Can you guys leave?"
Mm-hmm.
But I did think
you want me to confess my first love right here in front of all y'all?
When Martin came forward, he's like, "It's not you."
Kailen, does Ripley have a black right eye or what? Which eyeball?
What'd you say?
Her right eye has the black eye, and her left ear has the black ear.
See, you keep talking about Ripley in the middle of the podcast. Anyway, I liked the scene when Martin was like, "It's me, it's me," and we were like, "No, Martin, get out of here."
So did you like Martin? Like, did you end up liking him towards the end or no?
No, I never liked Martin. I don't think that he ever gets any character arc. I always like to, we talk about Kinsey. Sometimes the bad guys get arcs that make them cooler at the end. He never once, I feel like he never once learned his lesson. I'd like to think in the book they go into more detail about it, but he was never once likable. Like, even from the very first moment. What?
I was saying, I don't think he deserves to have that. It's not realistic for someone to have selfishly made their mistake, then selfishly wanted forgiveness. I don't think one kind act is enough to show me a character arc within that short period of time. That's going to take him being in therapy his junior year of college, talking about the homophobic shit he did in high school.
Yeah, I mean, literally from the beginning when you meet Martin, he's like a horrible person. He's like, "Hey, Simon, saw your emails." And then you're like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, his whole life's going downhill right now. And then
like you said,
dangles it forever.
I would have just logged out.
I never would have logged into the school emails to begin with because I would be feared that I can't delete my history after. It's like when I look up stuff at the work email, I can't delete my history. So every time I Google Genshin stuff for Kinsey, it sits there.
Pretend this is the confession cubicle. One time at the library, somebody did not log out of their email, someone popular, and I went digging around. Nothing interesting, though, and I logged out.
He said, pretend this is the confessions window. You ain't find nothing good?
Nothing good. All just email shit.
Confessions. About once a week, I would go into Jasmine's room when we were kids and run through everything because I wanted to see what she was up to. And it was like a weekly thing that got done every week. I'd go through her boxes. I'd look under her bed. I'd go through her clothes. I'd be like, what's she hiding here? I found condoms here and there. Like, I was like, this bitch is having sex. I knew even before she told me because I was looking through her stuff.
That's funny.
Hopefully she never watches this. Honestly, I was just thinking. I feel like back then I was kind of like a evangelical Christian, so I was like, oh my God, I had an opinion. But like, honestly, I was just like, what's she up to? Like, she's so good at not telling me things, so I might as well just go figure it out. You know?
Yeah.
By the way, I drew the animals really bad.
Oh.
No, you didn't. They're cute. I love Ripley. Her tail looks like a bunch of fingers.
You know, the only thing I can draw about fucking Ripley is her damn head. Once you get to the body, I'm like, and then I fucked up Greg, so I was like...
Oh, Greg. I miss Greg. Dang. Well, Kailen, to continue on with our month, what are you sharing with us next week?
So I decided to put not over the garden, fried green tomatoes back on the shelf for now. I was like, that's not what I want to show for Pride. And I will talk about this a bit more next week. But all week long before I watched Love, Simon, I went down the most lesbian rabbit hole trying to sift through the garbage out there for women. And I will bring up all this again in the next week's podcast. And out of all of it, I have pulled up the anime Vampire in the Garden. Wait, over the garden wall. That's funny. I just noticed there was a similarity in the title and it made me giggle. So, we'll be watching that anime. It's only 5 episodes on Netflix, and that's the entire show. So I'm really excited that we have a super short one because our max is 5 episodes per week for anime, and we get to watch a whole series this week.
That is exciting. I'm excited. There's only so
Wait,
many
so
like.
only 5 episodes?
Only 5 episodes for the whole story.
I'm excited because you're right,
And
Kailen.
it
There
is
are only
produced
so
by
many WLW out there, so
Yeah, and like I said, I want to save that talk for the episode itself for like our wrap up for Pride. I kind of gave you guys tidbits of what I want to mention. I think it's really important because we've seen 2 queer boy shows, and I wanted to wrap it up with some queer girl stuff. It was a very difficult task, so I need some gold stickers from both of you. I watched so much queer shit this week. Thank you, or queer women shit. The show is made by the same people as Naruto as well. I recommend you guys watch it in dub. I watched like half an episode in English and half an episode in Japanese, and I liked the Japanese voices better. I thought they fit the main 2 a little bit better personally, but whatever you guys pick is fine.
I should watch it in
I think
sub or
Kizio
dub.
in Japanese, so
Okay, you
dub
said
or sub.
dub, so I was confused.
Ah, look at that.
It's okay. It's okay.
I think Kinsey will really like the style. There's some people who straight up had like some Minato hair, and like some people
No,
look
the
like
main
Hinata.
witch bitch. I mean, the main vampire bitch looks like the last boss in Naruto. She looks like the last
Oh, yeah?
boss that they fight. Yeah.
And you won't be disappointed by the action scenes, obviously, if it's made by the people who made Naruto. So I liked it for a quick watch. We'll talk more about it next week.
Okay. Well, talk to you guys next week, losers.
Yeah, donate to queer charities. Goodbye.
Yeah, we'll link some.
Bye.
Bye.
You crime.